Yeah. This video is about neck positions. The difference between neck positions depending on the style or the method or the way of riding that you use when you train your horse or lead your horse or ride your horse. Some ways of riding, like Western riders or with a Western way of riding, ride the horse with a loose rein. Some European ways of riding or styles of riding, ride the horse with a short contact and make the horse bend his neck. What is the difference between all these neck positions? First of all, in my opinion, every single neck position you did, you will, and you are facing is a natural neck position. Why? Because the horse does it when he's alone in his nature. So bending the neck is completely natural. Moving the neck down or straight or up or moving with a loose neck is completely natural. Behind the vertical is completely natural because the horse does it when he's alone in the wilderness, when he's alone in the paddock. So just making the neck position or doing the neck position is completely normal. Now, why did he choose this neck position? What happened after he chose this neck position or that neck position is the most important thing. So number one, it's completely natural no matter what is it. Number two, why did he do it or make it? What happened after he made it or make it or after he did it is more important than just doing it. Now, every single method or style of riding has a completely different goal, even though the main goal is controlling the horse, but the neck positions, the body positions, the seat on the horse's back are completely different sometimes, even in good methods. Like you have 3 or 4 ways of riding that are correct and right, but all of them have one goal, but the way towards the goal, the way to reach to the goal is completely different in every single one of them. Like the difference between Western riding and Spanish riding, for example. Now, as a Western rider, your goal is to ride the horse with a loose neck. Doing that in the Spanish riding school or in the French riding school means it's a completely wrong neck position. Does that make it wrong in the Western style or Western riding? No. And the opposite is the same. Now, that's very simple. That's very clear. That's very obvious. Why am I talking about it? Because a lot of people talk about it like it's obvious and clear, but then they want to use it against you, or they want to use it against your method or way or style of riding. For example, they say it's very clear, but when they see someone riding the horse with a short contact, or the horse bends his neck, or the horse bends his neck behind the vertical, they say it's not normal. Well, in the first place, you said it's obvious and clear that every single way of riding has its own goal when it comes for the neck position. Why are you saying right now it's not normal? It's wrong. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why a lot of horse men and women will talk about it. There is nothing wrong about the neck position itself as long as the horse does it by his nature. You're not forcing him to do it. You're not, let's say, doing it for a reason against what he wants, and he's not using it against you. It's natural. I give him the right to choose the neck position. He chose a certain neck position. When he did it, he did not use it against me. What's wrong about that? That's my style or way of riding. For example, the Western way of riding, the style, let's say American way of riding, the cowboy way of riding, forces the horse to move with a loose neck. Now, when I say force, I mean force in a good way, in the right way. But it's all built on making the horse, convincing the horse to move with a loose neck, which is very comfortable and relaxing for the horse. But they don't want any other neck position. They don't want the horse to bend his neck more than he should. They don't want the horse to bend his neck behind the vertical. They don't want the horse to move the neck or the head up at all. It's completely against the way of riding, because you ride the horse with the cows. In cattle, in cutting and reining, you need the horse to be very calm and loose and relaxed. If he moves his head up, or let's say bends his neck, it's not a good thing. That's a correct thing to do as a Western rider. It's a completely wrong thing to do if you are a Spanish rider or a French rider. You completely want the horse to bend his neck and move his head up. The same goes for, let's say, warriors in the past when they ride the horse in the battlefield. In my way of riding, which is in my opinion the closest, or let's say it is closer than other ways of riding, it is closer to the natural horsemanship, the natural neck position to the horse, which is the horse has the right to choose any neck position he wants, whenever he wants, as long as the speed and the directions are mine. Controlling the direction and controlling the speed is in my hands. The appearance, the look, is up to you, which is closer to his nature, because in his nature sometimes he bends the neck, like when he fights other stallions and wants to breed mares. Sometimes when he's relaxed he moves the neck straight and down, moves with a loose neck or a relaxed neck. Sometimes he bends the neck behind the vertical when he fights other stallions. Sometimes he moves the head and the neck up when he's excited and playing and stuff like that. So all these neck positions will happen by himself without a rider on his back, which means it is completely natural. So if it happened with me without me forcing him or asking him to do it, it's completely natural. So a Western way of riding has only one neck position. All other neck positions are completely forbidden. He's prevented from doing them. The opposite is the same with European styles, in my opinion. There is no problem in that, in these ways of riding. But when the horse disagrees with them, when the horse spooks, when the horse wants to follow other horses or stuff like that, the first thing he does is choose the neck position that you prevented him from doing. In the Western way of riding, when the horse spooks, the first thing he does is move his neck behind the vertical or move his head up, or his neck up, because he was prevented from doing or choosing these neck positions. So the first thing he does is the thing you prevented him from doing. The opposite is the same with the Spanish riding school or the French riding school or the European styles. The first thing that a horse does when he spooks is pull straight and down, because the way of riding is always forcing him to come back to the hand and bend his neck, and move up, move the head up. So the horse does the first thing, the first thing the horse does when he spooks or disagrees with you is the thing you prevented him from doing. In this method of riding I'm talking about, I did not prevent you from any certain neck position. When you disagree with me, when you spook, any neck position you choose is already a neck position you chose before, you did before, you experienced before, you had the right to do before. So you cannot choose any neck position against me. If you do it, I will use it against you. So give the horse the right to choose the neck position and completely control the speed and the direction, instead of trying to control the neck position. And when he disagrees with you, the first thing he does is he takes the entire body with the neck position. The appearance is not important, the result is more important. Now the final thing, or the most important thing in my opinion, is the difference between forcing the horse to bend his neck behind the vertical and move his head up, and doing it by his nature. If the horse chooses to do it by himself, all I do is just collect the rein. When I canter the horse or trot the horse with a neck, with a bent neck or bent neck, even if it's behind the vertical, he chose to do that. I just collected the rein. If he wants to pull, I give him the right to pull and I give him the rein. You cannot compare that to someone who's pulling the horse back. That's why his horse is giving him his neck up or back. This one is forcing the horse to bend his neck. This one is allowing the horse to choose. In this case, the horse chose. In this case, the horse was forced. How can I know the difference? How can I know that this is true? It's very simple. What was the result here and there? Here, you forced him to bend his neck. That's why when he disagrees with you, the first thing he does is make his mouth and neck stiff and buck and try to get rid of you. In this case, the neck is very light, the mouth is very smooth. He's giving you the neck by choice. You can stop him and move him back whenever you want, which means you're not forcing him to give you the neck. So there is a big difference between a short contact rein, a bent neck that he chose to do, and forcing him to do it. That's my opinion about neck positions. Oh, yeah.